Welcome back, beautiful. So, if you are watching this, then I already know something about you, which is you are very smart, you are self aware, and you are someone who wants to do better in life. So, chances are, if you want to do better financially, then you're already perhaps saving, maybe you've even dipped your toe into investing, that you're on that journey to building financial freedom. But perhaps deep down, it still feels like you're going to mess it all up. So you might tell yourself that you're bad with money, that wealth is just not for someone like you. And even when you try and follow the strategy and take steps forward, you still end up in this cycle of self-sabotage or procrastination or just shrinking down your goals to be more realistic. Now, the thing is that this cycle that you might be stuck in right now has actually nothing to do with money. So even though everyone around you might be just saying, save your money, cut back your expenses, clear your debt, and start investing to grow your money and make it work for you, in theory, that is fantastic. But if you're still carrying around years of financial anxiety, financial trauma, limiting beliefs around your potential and self-worth, then no amount of money that you're going to throw at an S&P 500 ETF or index fund is going to solve your problems. Because what's truly holding you back from building financial confidence and building financial independence, it's not just the strategy or coming across the perfect strategy for you. It's actually adapting and adopting a new mindset. So here at the Witch of Wall Street, we really start by helping you to rewrite your money stories. Because the story that you're telling yourself about your ability, your capability, and your worthiness around money is literally what is playing out in your life. It is like you're the producer and the director of this movie called your life, but you get to write a new script. And the truth is, you cannot build real wealth and real financial freedom with the same script that got you to where you are. It is time to rewrite it. So I've worked in finance for well over a decade. I'm a chartered accountant. And as I mentioned, I've worked with individuals from all corners of the world, really helping them to go from paycheck to paycheck to building real financial freedom. And I can tell you, the winning factor, the secret sauce, it is not in finding the ideal strategy. It is literally in how they think. Because how someone thinks about money and how they relate to money is how they are going to apply the strategy. So it's never one or the other, it's always both. So in this video, I really want to touch on the number one determining factor, which is mindset, and why how you think about money is actually more important than the money itself. How your nervous system, your belief, your thoughts are actually determining the level of income and the amount of money you currently have in your life, and what you need to do to finally start building wealth in a sustainable way so that you don't end up going into some spiral of self-sabotage, you don't end up stuck in procrastination, or actually reach your goal and then blow it all up. Because once you shift what's happening in here, what you're beginning to experience on the outside all begins to change. So that looks like your level of savings, your level of investments, and actually your journey and your ability to build real financial independence. Now, if you're ready to go deeper into this work, I have a brand new program. It's a complete 5-day money story rewrite kit. It is something that is so simple to go through. It is easy to apply and it gives you big results fast, but I'll share more details down in the description on that for you to go and check out. Okay, so let's get into it. So your mindset is your operating system for your finances. So here's the thing. When I start working with individuals around building financial freedom, building financial independence, most people expect that we're just going to talk about the tactics alone. Like, what are the best budgeting apps to use, the best trackers, what are the best systems to put into place? But if your internal operating software, the internal system in here in your mind is full of lack, shame, guilt, a scarcity, if there is a fear around receiving and actually holding on to money, or if there is a guilt about actually becoming wealthy, then no amount of strategy or tactic or system will actually work or stick. See, your beliefs around money drive your behavior, and your behavior is what leads to your results. So how you think about money is literally going to determine how you turn up and act around money. So if you are someone who right now believes that money is really complicated or stressful, or maybe you experienced some financial trauma growing up in your family or in your adulthood, you're going to always avoid looking at your accounts. And I hear this time and time again of, I just have my head buried in the sand, right? This good old ostrich effect of, if I just don't look at it, everything will be fine. And it's not the case. It just means things are going to get worse and harder to fix. If you're also someone who might be feeling that having wealth isn't safe for you, that People might become greedy or jealous or might want to take it from you. If there's this uncertainty around your safety with money, then you're going to actually end up self-sabotaging that money and finding ways to release it and let it go. And so this inability to actually hold on to money is another big challenge I see. And it's not the strategy. It's what again is going on in here. So grab a journal now and just ask yourself, write it down or open up your notes in your phone and say, what do I really believe about money? And then where did I learn that from? Because if you want to create a healthy, thriving relationship with money where financial freedom, financial independence is part of your life, you better be really clear on what your relationship with money is today and how you want to change it. Now, the second thing to be aware of is that your nervous system has more power than your budget. Yes, when I first started coming into this world of finance and I was studying finance at university and becoming a chartered accountant and working at Big Four consulting firms, if someone had told me my nervous system was going to play a role in how financially successful I would be, I would have rolled my eyes and thought they were absolutely crazy. I probably would have called them a witch with a bad connotation. However, after being in this space for well over a decade, I've learned the truth. Our nervous system is actually running more of the show than we may ever consider or ever give it credit. So if you've ever got a bonus or a big inflow of cash into your life and then immediately spent it, like in a couple of months' time, you're looking at your account going, where did it all go? Then I can tell you that isn't just a money problem or just a strategy problem. That is because your nervous system is not wired to feel safe holding that amount of money. So your body really wants to keep you in a place of safety, and safety is familiarity. So anything outside of the normal for you is going to feel unsafe. It's going to feel risky. And so even if logically you're like, of course I want to keep on to that money. Of course I want to make it work for me and invest and, be smart with my money. If your nervous system is hardwired to say, having excess money, having surplus cash in my account is risky, it feels unfamiliar, it feels unsafe now, then you're going to find ways to push that money away. You're going to have bills attracted to you. People are going to be asking you for favors. That money will quickly find a way out so that your nervous system can come back to normal regulation for where you're at now and back to feeling safe. And so this is why we see so many people will take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. They're on this yo-yo diet with their finances. And this isn't a lack of discipline, it's actually just dysregulation. Now, the really key thing to know is that we can actually shift how our nervous system feels around money. So we can create a sense of safety and familiarity around holding greater levels of wealth by increasing our financial thermostat. Now, some of the ways that we do that are through things like breath work, through tapping. I've shared some of the different techniques on this channel. I delve into them a lot more inside my programs like the Collective, which is my incredible wealth community. So the key thing to realize is that wealth is a capacity that you grow into. It's not just a strategy that you follow. So as you're hearing me talk about these things, if it resonates with you that perhaps you've been stuck on this yo-yo financial diet, or you're taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, or that you've made all this money and have nothing to show for it, understand that it's unlikely going to be a strategy as your first port of call in order to fix that. It's going to be actually coming back to the nervous system work, the inner work, to regulate your nervous system around money, to make it feel safe, to make it feel familiar. So the next thing is, you can't manifest wealth while mentally living in lack. Manifestation isn't just vision boards and affirmations. It's literally how you're relating to money and all different aspects of abundance in your life on a day-to-day basis. So if you are taking action, if you're implementing a finance strategy, if you're looking at building your savings or investing, but you're doing it all from a place of lack, of scarcity, of fear, of I must do this because of all of these mistakes I've made in the past, right? Guilt tripping yourself. Then all you're doing is reinforcing that lack, limitation, that scarcity. And so with every action that we're taking, it's really important that we tune into the energy that we're actually bringing to the action too. Because true abundance, yes, it lies in financial freedom, but it's also in showing up in every action with clarity, with confidence, with a sense of conviction of what you're doing, with the trust in the result that you're about to create. And so here's a really key thing. You do not manifest wealth or abundance or financial freedom because you need it, or because you've written it down on a piece of paper, or because you just want it alone. You manifest these things because it's who you've become. You are now the version of you that can hold wealth, that can attract wealth, that can take care of money. So if you want more money and more wealth in your life, act and practice as if you are that person who already has it. Now, please do not bypass this point, because this is a lesson I had to learn the hard way. I shared previously on another video, when I first started my business, in one weekend, I had attracted in 2 big contracts for £50,000. It's about $70,000. And I was very excited. It was the most money I'd ever made in that amount of time. And it was more than even my parents had ever made in that short space of time. So all of a sudden, I was out here in the realm of uncertainty, unfamiliarity. And even though logically I was like, this is fantastic, I'm celebrating, I was not aware enough to know what was happening under the surface, right? My nervous system was freaking out. My subconscious mind was not up to grade to actually hold that amount of new money into my life. And so what happened is I actually manifested that both these contracts disappeared in the most unlikely of circumstances. And it was only after the fact, when I was debriefing with my coach at the time, and was like, I manifested it in and I manifested it out. Right? We are the creators of our own reality. And that was a really, really tough lesson, but it was one I will never forget. So anytime I'm coming to do money work, or I'm looking to increase a price or move to a new level of financial freedom, or move to a new level of wealth, I am damn sure to be doing my nervous system work, to be doing the inner work alongside any strategy work, because I never want to end up in a situation again where I am dysregulated internally around that wealth, and as a result end up self-sabotaging. So the next thing to be aware of is the real work is not in the stock market, it's in the mirror. So technically you can Google what is the best ETF to buy right now, but you cannot Google how do I overcome the fear of taking action? How do I stop overspending? How do I stop undercharging? Because most of our problems with money are actually nothing to do with strategy. It's more to do with identity. It's about how we view our own self-worth, how we view our own ability to manage money, how we view our own capacity to actually hold money. Do we see ourselves as someone who was deserving to be rich, who is capable of living that lifestyle, who that lifestyle is destined for? Because if not, you cannot out-earn a broken relationship with money or a poor mindset around financial freedom. So until you really identify, unlock, and then rewrite the stories that are running in your mind right now around money, about what you deserve, about what is possible, about what you're actually destined for, you'll keep falling into the same financial patterns, the same financial mistakes, no matter how much money you've made. Now, I worked with an incredible woman over in Canada, and I always remember hearing this very telling story. So she was incredible at making money. She had made over $1 million in her business that year, and she was still new to business. However, when we actually looked at her financial situation, she was not in a good way. Her financial health was actually very poor. And it was because even though she was great at manifesting and making money, she had all of these stories in her mind and all these narratives and beliefs around why she wasn't worthy of keeping it, why it was unsafe, why it wasn't safe for a woman to have it. It wasn't right for her. That should have been something her husband did. And so even though logically none of these things would make sense, she had this unconscious, this subconscious belief. Her nervous system was not regulated. And so she actually ended up just overspending. She ended up finding ways that money would just leak out of her accounts. And again, falling into these self-sabotaging practices. So please remember, before you follow any big strategy, that you look in the mirror and make sure that your money story is in alignment with the financial reality you're actually moving towards. Because the richest investors I know, including myself, do not just invest in the stock market. They are damn sure to be investing in their money mindset too. Now, this is the type of work that we do inside the collective, because everything I teach here at the Witch of Wall Street blends the wealth and it blends the so-called woo side of things, right? It needs to be both. It's never either or, right? You need the right mindset. You need the right psychology to actually say, I'm deserving of wealth. I believe in my potential to have and to hold wealth. But you also need the strategy of how to actually go about making it, managing it, growing it, right? So it's always they come in combination. But we start with mindset. As I mentioned at the beginning, it is the determining factor of your financial success. So if you want to find out more about the collective, I'll share a link down below in the description. But this is where we do weekly workshops around money mindset, nervous system regulation. There's investing Q&As. It is really an incredible community. So ladies, if you've ever heard yourself say, I know I should be doing this, and you still aren't, then this is the place for you. So here's the truth. You don't just need to make more money in life, although that's fantastic. Let's manifest more abundance. I'm all for it. What you really need, though, is to understand how to receive it, hold it, and grow it, and a mind that is prepared for all three. So if right now you feel like you're stuck between the life you have and the life that you know you're meant for, don't stop here. Make sure you go check out this next video. This is going to help you shift your perspective around money in a way that most videos about money never will. So make sure you go check it out. Thank you as always for watching, for being here, for subscribing to our community, for leaving your comments. It means so much and I really do appreciate it. Now I'll see you over there.